You are now tuned in to the Khaotic Kulture podcast.
It's the KKP on your mother flipping airways. Hear the name ringing through the halls and the stairways. You were listening to a pod that can segue. All the latest topics guaranteed to fill your headspace. It's a safe place to voice your opinion. Say what you feel just like you're a kid again. Kid to pro and friends, black as obsidian. Chaotic culture, that's the world we living in. So what's the word?
Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Khaotic Kulture podcast, about where chaos rules and black culture reigns supreme. The Khaotic Kulture podcast is brought to you by patreon.com/Khaotic Kulture pod. Please be sure that you go and subscribe to the Patreon and once again help keep the lights on for bonus content. Once again, we appreciate your support. This pod will deep dive into modern black culture and how millennials and Gen Z and maybe even Gen Alpha can navigate some of our crazy parts, from finances, black business highlights, black professionals, community content creators, home ownership, HBCU, sports, black nerdom, anime, wrestling, and especially black music. If it encompasses black culture, we are going to cover it. Live from the 410, I am the host and the creator of the Khaotic Kulture podcast. This is your boy, Ked the Pro, aka the Calculated Millennial, aka the Encore presentation.
Can I get an encore? Do you want more?
AKA your favorite toxic adjacent king, Ked the Poet, Ked the Closer, all that good stuff. 843 is me. Baltimore is the place to be. Always chaotic, never toxic most days. And back again, once again, with your favorite black culture highlights and black culture shenanigans. We are once again in the middle of our Black Creator Highlight Series. Once again, happy Black History Month. You already know what time it is. We celebrate black over here. And today I have a special guest. She is a content creator. She is a streamer. And I'm just glad to have her in this space because, listen, I go over to her Twitch anytime that I can. And half the time, like, I'm literally choking because I'm dying of laughing. So with that in mind, I would like to introduce Cleopatra, aka Cleo. Please go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Hey. As you said, I'm Cleopatra. My screen name is spelled Cleoxpatra, but the X is silent. Okay, the bots don't get that. I'm always Cleoxpatra, but don't let me catch you saying that, okay? Please, just don't be that person.
X is silent like Hunter. I get it.
Yeah, exactly. You get it. You get it. Yeah. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. It's great because I think it's so funny. Like you're called the Khaotic podcast, the Khaotic Culture, and I'm the Khaotic Kingdom.
Exactly.
The Khaotic Kingdom. It was perfect. It's meant to be. It's kismet is like a word I like to use. It's an Arabic word for basically like fate. So yeah.
I like that. Definitely. Once again, it is great to have you here. For those who, are wondering, like, I pretty much know Cleo because I know Simone, and I see the clips of them all hanging out all the time. So it's just like, okay. Then I started following her. She started following me, and then I just joined a Twitch one day when I had a free moment, and I was like, yeah, this is chaotic, but this is my kind of chaos. So we'll get into all of that as we go through the highlight series. But before we get into these questions and talk about what Cleo has going on, we need to discuss our mental health. It has been another week. We want to be sure that we are doing okay. And if we're not doing okay, if you want to talk about it, of course, you are more than welcome to. And if you don't, you don't. Listen, this is what we're here for. I am not a mental health professional, but I always want to be sure that we are doing okay no matter what, or at least making strides to being okay. So I will let the lady go first. Cleo, how has your mental health been?
Well, what window are we talking?
Uh-oh.
It's a lot. It's been a lot, like life can get really heavy sometimes. And for a long time, it's just been, ups and downs, obviously. But I'd say, I'm very blessed. I'm not going to take away from that, but things have been hard. Like in the last year, 2025 was hard.
Tell me about it.
Specifically, the hardest thing was that I lost my dad.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's been weighing on me a lot, but I've been trying to maintain and like keep going in a way that he would want me to.
Mhm.
So, I said that 2026 is going to be my year. It's my favorite number. It's my birthday. So
Okay.
it has no choice but to be a good year for me. So I'm claiming that. Um, lately, more recently, uh, I was a little, I was explaining to my friends, I was like, I'm feeling a little, I'm feeling my social battery is drained and I'm in my house. How is that?
Wow.
Right. So I just got back from LA and I came back and then it was just like phone call, phone call, phone call, this, everybody needing to talk to me. And I'm just like, please. I got to a point where like I don't know. I can't like I said, my social battery was drained. I was like, I don't want to talk to anyone anymore. I didn't want
Mhm.
to say like, oh my gosh. But I was able to kind of like stop finally having to take so many calls and do what I wanted to do, just like sleep, relax, work on little things that I like tap into some things that I had to work on, like a
Right.
Discord or something. Um, and I was able to kind of come out of that a bit. So right now, presently, my mental is okay. I just have a lot I need to do, and that's in my mind, but I can't let that bog me down because I will always be under stress if I let it do that. So
Yeah.
right now, I'm doing okay. Yeah.
Well, that is good. I know that you have a lot on your plate, but the ultimate goal is to just be sure that you are at a place where you can, function properly and take things one step at a time, one foot in front of the other. The last thing that we need for us is for the weight of the world and the weight that we've been dealing with to bog us down and keep us down. So, but at any point in time, just to keep an open space at any point in time that you need to, I guess, vent or talk about these things, you know how to message me or anything like that. So I always try to keep an open ear for all of that.
I appreciate
Any friend of family is basically family at this point for me too. So there's that. My mental health has been presently, I'm going to say that I am okay,
mm,
but I would be lying if I said that I didn't have those lingering thoughts in the back of my head presently as well. There have been some things that have been weighing on my mind as of late, and it all comes down to like life changes. And as go through these life changes, like I'll be 35 this year. So I have to have the presence of mind to know, okay, what are some things that I need to do to take better care of my physical health? What are some things that I need to do to make sure that I have my finances straight? Because right now, I am financially struggling. I love podcasting, but it pays like a bill, but not all of the bills. So I'm like, all right, with everything going on, I have to have the presence of mind to just take breathers every now and again, just be like, all right, cool. Just take it, deep breath in and out. Don't let these things stress you out. Yeah, you don't like where you currently work at sometimes, but right now it's paying the bills until you can start moving on. Uh and then at the end of the day, you still have your parents. I still try to call my mom and my father every time that I, get the opportunity to, even though work sometimes will again bog me down and maybe even stress me out. And most importantly, just try to take everything in stride. As 2025 was a rough year for you. I know 2023 was a rough year for me because just to share with you, during that year, I had lost my last remaining grandparent, two cousins, and a mentor. So yeah, 2023 was just like blow
yeah.
after blow after blow. And I'm like, okay, now I'm just now finally getting to a place where I'm like, I'm okay, because 2024 was, had some life changes, but also still dealing with the after effects of that. 2025 was, let me rebuild myself. Let me not get over the traumas, but try to heal from those traumas. And now I'm like, okay, I think I'm all right, and these things take time. So I am presently, I think I'm all right, but there, still some things that I got to work on. But ultimately, I think that I am doing well.
Ultimately, I'm glad that you are doing well for the most part. I resonate a lot with what you were saying because, like you said, things take time.
Mhm.
And I was thinking about that the other day, like how, well, first, before I get into that, I would like to extend the same to you. Like, if you ever feel the need that you need to chat, talk, I'm here. I feel like I'm a great listener. I've been told
Absolutely.
I'm a good listener, so I try. I would prefer. I know I'm a yabber, but I prefer to listen than talk.
That's
So
good.
that's me. Um, but I feel like I'm only a yapper when I feel like when I have to be or need to
Mhm.
be. So yeah, two ears, one mouth, you know. But yeah, like I definitely can resonate with what you're saying. Like right now, it's just hard. Like I lost my job last year too,
Mhm.
so and the job market is crap right now
Yeah.
because I no one wants me. I was like, what am I doing? Like, am I just meant to? I've been questioning. I was like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just go out? Well, my ultimate goal is to like work for myself anyway.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess I just never have taken the leap needed to take that seriously. And
Mhm.
I'm like, is this my sign? Like, because I can't seem to go anywhere else with it. But yeah, like the finances issue is it's been a year. Okay. So it's tough. Yeah. And I'm also I'm sorry for your losses. That's a lot. And it's just you don't get over those things, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
that my dad is the closest loss that I've ever had. Like I've lost family members before, but my dad would be the closest. So even though I'm like, yeah, today I'm okay, that doesn't mean like later I'm not gonna cry, you know? So
Understood.
it's just my cousin told me that, you know, they say grief has stages, but it's
Yeah.
not linear.
It's not.
And so you might experience it's not like you go through this, and then you're done. No, like it might be here, it might be there, it might be here, and then come back to there. It's just it's a lot. And learning to deal with it is hard on top of everything else, right? Like we already
Right.
have life stuff going on.
Mhm.
So it's being alive is hard.
Boy, don't I know it. Don't I know it.
So yes, and then there's like, you know, dealing with just general mental health, right? Like I've dealt with depression. Like I can't say that that's the thing. I can't say like it was like what's clinically um what is the word I'm looking for?
Clinically diagnosed?
Diagnosed, thank you.
Okay.
Because I haven't even had the chance. Like I want to get into therapy, but like no job, no insurance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like it's hard. So it's just like but from what I know and what I've experienced, and not for anything, I at one point when I was in college, I was choosing between biology and psychology.
Mhm.
I chose biology, but I did have a big interest in psychology, so I did take some psych classes anyway. But not for anything, I can say that I've given myself a non-official self diagnosis of what I think some of my problems are.
Mhm.
And it is something I would like to talk about to a professional. And I do know that there are someone has reached out to me, and there are some like free options available for people out there because we are not the only ones dealing with this. It's a lot of people
Yeah.
out there like dealing with this. So I think BetterHelp is one of them. Um, I have one of my problems is chronic procrastination now.
Oh.
So
Got a book on procrastination.
yeah,
Boy, oh
I
boy.
I call myself the procrastination princess. My mom would be the queen. I get it.
Oh,
The apple does not fall far from the tree at all. Okay,
well.
we are two peas of the pod right there. But I'm working on it. And it's hard. Saying I'm working on it can be so hard because I feel like I've been saying I'm working on it for like the past 5 years. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So it's like, at what point are you no longer working on it, but doing? So sometimes, you know, we can be hard on ourselves. And people always tell me to give myself grace. But I'm like, sometimes I feel like I give myself too much grace. And that's how I end up slacking and procrastinating and blah, blah, blah. So it's balancing is just tough. And shout out to the people that are here for us, like my family members, my friends, the community, like the chaotic community. Like I have, if anything else, there's one thing I can never say is that I've never felt like a lack of support ever. And I'm very grateful for that, because I know that everyone does not have that like ability to say that. So I will say I'm very, very thankful to be able to have a wonderful support system in many different areas. So I'm happy about that. I can
For
say.
sure, for sure. Continue to lean on your support system. If I didn't say this before, again, condolences on your loss. That I know that that's been rough. But also just know that, yeah, continue to lean on the support system that you have, and at the chance that you get to talk to a professional, do so. But again, extend yourself grace. Can continue to extend yourself grace, because, as you said, like, these things aren't linear. Especially like for me, uh dealing with not having grandparents anymore. It was just one of those things where I was just one day on the job, I was just minding my business. But what ended up happening, like, early that night, is that I had a dream where all four of them showed up. And yeah, I couldn't stay on the floor. I was like, hey, I gotta step off. And whoo, boy, I had to release a lot. I'm just like, this is it just hit me all at once, guys. I apologize. But that being said, we're human, and yeah, life is hard. But as long as we continue to just push forward and lean on our support, and get the help that we desire and need, then I think that's really important. We can't just ignore these problems. Obviously, we want to be sure that we nip them in the bud and take care of them. They're not just going to go away, obviously, because we're human. Things happen, but still, rely on your support system, extend yourself grace, and ultimately, healthy distractions are always important. And I can say without a doubt that sometimes even just being in your stream is a very much a healthy distraction, because, boy, your friends and me included, but whenever we're in there, it's just like, it just seems like so much happens all at once, and it's like, hey, you know what, I like where this is going. So um with that said, to our audience, of course, if you're listening to this, just heed the words that we have spoken. Again, we're not you know health professionals, but we still have been there. We know and can relate. So whatever help that you were seeking, I hope that you're able to find it. Better help is one option, but of course, if if you have health insurance, if you have a job that offers health insurance, just use those opportunities to go seek those professionals who are able to get you through those situations. So, with that, let us go ahead and transition to talk a little bit more about Cleo. Now, I did want to start off by asking more about your education background, because you did say that you had majored in biology. What school did you attend? And then can you explain a little bit more about your college life?
So I started off, hilariously enough. I went to school in Pennsylvania first. And I told myself, it was so funny. I told myself I would never go to school in Pennsylvania because my my grandma was from, well, my dad was from this area called Newcastle, Pennsylvania.
I'm
And
familiar.
whenever yeah, so
Yes.
whenever I went there, like, it was just like, what? Me and my cousin used to make this joke. We'd be like, Newcastle, population 10. And it was so when I thought of Pennsylvania, I thought of Newcastle. I don't think my brain didn't go like Philly or anything. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I was like, no, not Pennsylvania. But what ended up happening is I played volleyball in high school, and this school that I went to, Bernathen College, so small, like on the outskirts of Philly, like so small. Um, they reached out and was like, hey, they were doing this thing for like high school students where you can go visit the school for like a couple days, like spend the night in a dorm or whatever, to just like experience the college.
Hmm.
And they were like, yeah, come do this. And I was like, okay, sure. Um, Remember when I said I'm a chronic procrastinator? There
Yes.
was one point where my mom was like, not sure if I was even taking this serious. She was like, do you even want to go to school? She was like, like, you don't have to, but you do have to either go to school or start working. Like, you have to do something. But
Hmm.
it's just, I guess I wasn't very hungry for it, or I just wasn't super active in terms of like making sure I did certain things that I had to do. Because
Mm-hmm.
not for nothing, I had an interview with Princeton and it went great, but I didn't finish the application.
Oh no. Oh my god. She had the chance for Ivy League and it's gone.
Oh my gosh, I will never forgive myself for that. I was shocked. Listen, I'm not for nothing. I was no 4.0 student. My grades were very average in high school, and not because I didn't have the capability. It's because the procrastination. Listen, it's been here all my life, okay? All my life. So I was very shocked when they reached out and wanted to interview me. And I was like, sure. But anyway, that's in the past now. I'm going to let it go one day. So yeah, I went to this school to check it out because they were like, come check us out. And I was like, okay. So I went and it was very small, not what I was expecting for like my college experience or anything, but they got me because they were like, I knew I was the captain of my volleyball team in high school. However, I knew where my skill set was. I was not college level athlete. Okay.
I got you.
But because I discovered this after I started playing outside of school in my senior year, I was like, oh yeah, no, like these girls have been doing this for forever. I was like, I didn't start club volleyball until like senior year, and I was like, yeah, no. So when they were like, yo, we heard you play volleyball. Oh, you're the captain of your team. Oh, we'd love to have you play here. And I'm like, what? I'm like, sure, and then on top of that, it was like my birthday. I think it was near my birthday, and they bought me some ice cream cake. I was like, it's my favorite. How'd they know my favorite cake is ice cream cake? It's like, what? They're so nice. They got me. So not for nothing. It was a great school. It was just so small. It's just not what I was expecting. So I did end up transferring. I stayed for 2 years. I met some amazing people that I'm still great friends with to this day. But it was just not the experience I wanted for college. And I got my associates, and then I transferred and went down to North Carolina. And I know it's all over the place, right? Like Pennsylvania, North Carolina. I live in DC. So I don't know if a lot of people outside of the DMV area know this, but for DC residents, since we're not a state, we are able to get in-state tuition at any public school in the United States.
Ooh.
Well, up to a certain amount, but yeah, you have to go through a program and sign up for it and all that other stuff. But yeah, so that's why I have like the ability to go wherever I want. So I was like, anyone who's from DC and going to school in DC, I was like, why? Like, why you can go anywhere? So I ended up going to North Carolina, which was crazy though. The first school in Pennsylvania was not a public school; it was a private school. So I was still paying private school prices. Yeah. So it definitely did help when I went down to North Carolina. I got my first refund check ever. I was like, oh, this is nice. I was like, this is what all my friends have been talking about. Okay. I went to UNC Greensboro. Okay. And it was great. It was right next door to A&T. I had a lot of friends that went to A&T. Yeah. Yep. So, okay, I want to throw this out here because I know it's been questioned. Okay, I know. I did not go to an HBCU. All right. Okay, but
it's fine. It is
no, because the people like to talk their mess. All right. I had a reason, and it's because being in DC used to be called Chocolate City, right? Black people, black. All my life, all my schools have been all black. Elementary school, middle school, high school, all black. Barely had any white teachers. Okay. I did have some in high school, but barely. So I was like, I basically grew up at an HBCU, my whole life. So I just wanted to experience something different. You know what I'm saying? Meet some new people. I was like, what I'm saying? So I ended up going to 2 PWIs. Now, do I regret it? Half and half, because the culture obviously isn't the same. I have not gone back for a homecoming for either school.
Mm.
Well, I feel like that would have been a lot different if I did go to an HBCU. But not for nothing, there were a lot of problems my friends were having at their HBCUs that I did not have at my PWI. And I hate to see that, unfortunately. It should not be the case. But, you know, I got the experience. If I were to go back to school, it for sure would be an HBCU. I would love to go back to school, but right now I just, the time and the finances aren't here. Okay.
Yeah.
So, if I do go back to school, it will be for business.
Okay.
But
Smart
yeah,
degree.
I went to, okay, cool. So I went, as I said, for biology. And that happened because in middle school is when I got my interest in science. It was from one of my teachers. His name was Mr. Teach, which was hilarious. But he made science class interesting and I liked it. So then when I went to high school, the high school that I went to was a STEM school. So we had to choose a track, like a major. So you had IT, mass media, biotech, and I'm missing one. IT, engineering. I chose biotech. I loved it. I loved working in the lab. I just I very much enjoyed it. So when I went to school when I was going to college, I was looking for schools that had biotech. But at the time, apparently it wasn't that huge. Like right now, it's forensics and biotech all over. Every school offers it. But when I was in like graduating from high school, it wasn't that big. Like the only options I had was like maybe going to New York or California. And I didn't want to go to either of those places. No shade. It's just California was a bit far and New York's a bit busy. Like DC was my comfort zone. Like DC is a city, but New York is a city. So I didn't want to go to a technical school. So I ended up going for biology. I was like, okay, at least, biology is like the broad version of going into this. So when I ended up transferring to UNCG, it was perfect because they had biotech as a minor. So I did that. Have I done anything with that?
Sounds like a no.
I did. My dad really wanted me to do pharmacy, because pharmacists, they make bank. Okay.
They do.
The legal drug dealers. Okay.
Yep.
But I never wanted to be a pharmacist. And I think part of it had to do like morals or whatever, because a big pharma or whatever, I never fucked with it. But I don't know. I never had a passion for it either. I didn't care for it. But hilariously enough, it seems like everything I say I don't want to do ends up happening. So I be saying I don't want to win the lottery. You know what I'm saying? Because what's happening? Because listen, my first job out of school, I was a farm tech. What? What? And it just happened to be because the neighborhood pharmacy that my grandmother went to had an availability for a college. Like he did this thing where he was working with college students so he could, have some help. So I was like, okay, farm tech, did that for a year. But then in DC, you didn't have to be certified to be a farm tech until 2017, and then they changed it. So I couldn't stay any longer. I had the choice to get certified and stay or find another job. And since I didn't want to do pharmacy anyway, I chose not to get certified. I did end up interning at the Department of Forensics. Loved it there. Was there for a year. Went through our program called SYEP, which is the Summer Youth Employment Program. And they put me in there. Then I ended up staying with them for a while. I did not get a full-time job because let me tell you, I am a horrible interviewer. I hate interviewing. It makes me want to throw up. Oh my gosh. So especially when it's a job I care about, or like that I really want, I stumble, I forget things, I forget my name, you know what I'm saying? It's so but the jobs I don't care about, it's like, yeah, they come with ease, but I never ended up working with them full time because every time I end up getting an opportunity to interview with them, I bombed it, and I'm so sad about it. But I was like, maybe it wasn't meant to be. I don't know. But not for anything. I also feel like part of it was because, when interviewing, you have to put in the work for it too. It's like studying. And
Mhm.
I listen, as much school as I've done, I said I would go back. I hate school. I'm not a school person. I, the thing I loved most about school was the social aspect. I'm not gonna lie. I like learning new things, but I hated studying and I hated tests, and this was never my thing. So yeah, that's my background. So after the forensics thing, I ended up all my jobs after that ended up being like admin assistant, all admin work. So I've strayed farther and farther from my degree. But
Ab
yes, a lot of people don't know that I did go to school for biology. And I thought me and all my friends were having the same struggles. I didn't realize until later I had a special struggle because I was a biology major.
mm.
Like my other friends that had other majors were like, girl. And I'm like, what, you don't got to do this? No. I was like, oh, no wonder I feel like crying. Okay, cool.
Wow.
Got you. So yeah, that's a fun fact about me. I went to school for biology, and
Interesting. Hey, look, there's a lot of people out there that have not followed their degree
yeah,
to an extent. Listen, I have a whole MBA and I work in a warehouse. So it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, I should probably be in somebody's office doing this and whatnot. And I'm not doing that because I'm
listen,
literally out on the floor active, talking to people and making sure things are getting done.
got to pay the bills.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And for what it's worth, it's not that I'm a terrible interviewer myself. I just have a tendency to sometimes ramble,
Yeah,
and I had to like kind of learn. All right, look, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm gonna keep it at boom, 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 4 points, and that's it. I'm gonna shut up after that. I'm like, all right, after I get to my results, zip it. Don't don't
good.
don't go any further.
Yeah.
And it's actually helped. But this is not, a self-help on how to interview, obviously. This is but that being said, how did all of that lead into you becoming a streamer?
Okay, so I knew nothing about Twitch 4 years ago.
Mhm,
Um, I started streaming because, all right, backstory that will lead into the reason, right? So I have a business, I have an LLC. It's
mhm.
called Capped by Cleo, and I decorate graduation caps.
Ooh.
Um, actually, like I have one that I've been working on
Actually, I
here.
do remember that you said that. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
It's like, yeah. So this is my little thing. It's like my little side business. This happened because I helped with a friend's first. She graduated before me.
Mhm,
She did most of the work, but I kind of helped. But then I did my own for my own graduation, and everyone
right.
loved it. Um, I don't have a picture available, but I could show you after.
Okay.
But everyone loved my cap, and so then my best friend was like, "Can you do mine?" And I was like, "Sure." So she was like my first customer, and I was like, "Okay, I'll make a business out of this," like because more and more people wanted me to do their caps. So I started doing it, and I found out like after being in that world, like there were other people who were doing graduation caps, and there are quite a couple people that I know that do it full time now.
Mhm,
And not just, well, I don't know about everyone, but I know one girl in particular, she went viral on TikTok and blew up, and now she's like booked 2 years in advance.
ooh,
And it's a whole thing. It's very niche, but it's you always have a customer. Like everyone graduates, people graduate every year, multiple
mhm.
times a year, times during, I mean, throughout the year.
Yeah.
Um, some people, people are starting to do like, well, not starting to, but people do photo shoots. And this one girl, not from me, but I saw it happen from this other girl that I follow. She got her a cap and one for her dog.
Oh,
So the girl made a cap for herself and for her dog, and well, not for herself, but for her customer and the customer's dog. So yeah, I started doing that, and then my friend, well, Rashad, Rashad.
yeah.
Because
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so he streams, And
Right.
so I would see him on stream and whatever. And I was like, I wonder, because I had thought about doing my caps on Instagram Live just to
Mhm.
kind of like have like an accountability partner or something. Cause sometimes I would procrastinate with that as well.
Well,
And I was like, okay, when I discovered Twitch because of him, I started branching out and I found that there was a makers and crafting category. And I was like, oh, okay. So at that time, the only people that I saw in makers and crafting were people building computers.
mhm.
And occasionally I'd find someone crafting. Now if you go there, it's like mostly people are doing yarn work.
Yeah.
Um, but at the time it was just people building computers.
Mm.
There were a lot of people in the art, a lot of people doing digital art and like art, but the makers and crafting wasn't like what I thought it was going to be at the time. But then I did find this one girl that was crafting something that wasn't a computer, and I was like, oh, so I went into her stream and we were talking, and she was telling me about Twitch. She was so nice, and I started learning more on my own about Twitch and other communities outside of his. And so I was like, maybe I could do this too. Like maybe I can start streaming me making my caps because I see other people making things on here. Maybe I can do that.
Okay.
So that's why I started streaming. But then I broke my ankle
Ooh,
and I ended up buying like a Switch to like keep myself
busy.
busy. And my friend was telling me to get into Animal Crossing. So I started playing like Animal Crossing. So then I started learning how to like connect my Switch to my computer.
Mhm.
But during that time, I wasn't playing while my ankle was broken. It was afterwards. I mean, I wasn't streaming at that time, but because all my stuff was upstairs, my sister let me use her bedroom while my ankle was broken. But when I was able
Okay.
to start walking again, I did have my Switch and I had everything. So I learned like you needed a capture card and whatever to connect it to your computer. And I, at the time, only had my laptop. So I was streaming off of my MacBook. And so I was trying
Okay.
to learn how to stream off of a MacBook, which isn't easy because Mac does not make it very Macs aren't streamer friendly
It's not.
necessarily. So you can find there are ways, you can find ways. So that's why I started on OBS because I wanted to do Streamlabs,
Mhm.
but because it was more user friendly, but it takes up more from your computer.
Yeah,
So I
take a lot
had to
of
do OBS. I'm glad I did though, because now I'm like OBS all the way. Like there's no way
Okay.
I would use Streamlabs, but no shade to Streamlabs. I love it. But it's just that it's kind of like I compare it kind of like Apple and Android, right? Or
Uh-huh.
yeah, so it's like one's more user friendly, like put together for you, and one's more customizable. And I would say that like OBS is more comparable to Android, whereas like Streamlabs is more comparable to Apple, where it's like,
Mm.
here you go. We have this for you. We made this for you. We set this out for you. We laid it out for you. Here it is. So yeah, so I started on OBS and then my computer started getting hot, so I had to buy a fan to put underneath it because when it got hot, it got slow. So I had to buy a little fan. I had to find a sound router. What are those? What are they called? Like wavelength. What is it called? Things that routes your sound. I can't think of the word for it right now, but I had to find one that was compatible for a Mac,
Uh-huh.
and I did the things. And shout out to my one of my very first mods, Spontaneous Mix. He is half the reason why I started when I was able to, because he was like just giving me help for just out the kindness of his heart, just telling me what I need to do, how I need to do it. He was my sound person, whatever. So yeah, he told what camera. Well, the girl I told you that I first met when I went into Makers and Crafting, she was telling me what cameras and stuff, but he was telling me what sound stuff to do. And so between all the help that I got, like shout out to everyone that just helped me just because they wanted to. I found that so beautiful. And that's like the whole thing of community, right?
Yep.
Just helping me to start. And it was funny because before I was just so excited and so ready. And I don't know like how you feel about zodiacs and stuff, but I'm a Virgo. So I'm very perfectionist-ish. The fact
Okay.
that I'm a huge procrastinator goes against that a lot. But listen, nurture over nature or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I had everything set up. I had my page set up. I had like my panel set up. I had this and this and that. So sometimes when people would see me, they'd be like, "Do you stream?" I was like, "I haven't yet," and they're like, "Yes, you do. You streamed before. There's no way. Like your page looks too good." I'm like, "Thank you, but no, I promise you, I've never streamed before." So I was just ready. I was set up. I had a game plan. I'm like, I want these emotes because I was seeing from other people, getting inspiration from other places. I want to do
Mhm.
this. I want this as my channel redeem. Blah 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 blah. So then I went in and hey, then we got affiliated and it was cool. And here we are. And now I'm still growing and I'm still trying to find ways to grow and maintain
Mhm.
and but also be able to be here for myself mentally because it can be draining, and not for anything. I know a lot of people used to feel like content creators like, oh, it's such an easy bag. It is not
No,
like
no, it's not.
at all. It's so much work and it's just like, yo, like I get tired sometimes just looking at stuff. And my number one op is editing. I hate editing. Oh my god. I hate it so
I
bad.
I got stories.
Listen, I will sit there and look and I'll cry. I don't want to do this. So that's something I'm working on too. Baby steps.
Listen, this is coming from me, because I've learned how to video edit now that we've started like actually broadcasting this platform on YouTube. So it's like, okay, I gotta go find, the edits and figure out, okay, what worked, what didn't, where did we mess up, and I at times the program that I use, Wondershare, is very helpful as far as learning how to edit and to add in different things like adding different transitions or how to fade to black and adding different stickers around or maybe adding different content around the screen. It's like, okay, this is not bad, but the process that went into it was just like I had to sit there and just search and make mistakes and learn or look it up on YouTube. I would literally spend hours doing that, and it's crazy that you said that because like there was one video that an entertainment group sent me so that way, and I was able to split their video into clips. That part was easy, but it was the shortening a 4-hour video into 10 to 20 minutes and it ended up being like 25 to 30 because and there was so much content in there that they could use. I'm just sitting here like, what can I cut out? What can I cut out? What can I cut out? And I'm sitting
And
there
it
watching it.
hurts.
I had to watch it twice, and I'm like, yo, I've sat here and I've watched 8 hours worth of content, and now I got to figure out how to like shorten this. It is tedious and can be
Mhm.
mundane at
Mhm.
times, and it's not an easy job. Like editing is really difficult. So I appreciate those who like will literally sit there and edit. I had the commercial that I made for BlurCon. I don't know if you saw, but it's posted on the IG page. That's a 3-minute video. Guess how long I was here editing that video?
All day.
Well, 3.5 hours, but yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, man, I was like, I sat here and spent 3.5 hours to make a 3-minute video, bro. That is
Mm-mm.
crazy amount of time. But it
Mm-mm.
was worth it. It was just like, damn, dog, I've been here a break. Like I started working on this thing at 9, and here it is like at 12:30. I'm like, I'm just not finished. Oh shit.
And then
So
and then we're expected to do things like eat. Like
yeah,
what?
I don't
I
remember
gotta
the
do human things too. I got stuff
yes.
to do. Like what?
A
No.
absolutely, absolutely. So I feel your pain 100% on that. I did wanna ask when it comes to streaming, because obviously you said that you wanted to start by, of course, promoting your business as far as the streaming. I wanted to ask, like, now, how did it become so, well, chaotic in less terms? Like, what elements made it the space that it is now?
So I was scared of empty space.
Mm,
And like as much of a yapper as I am quite shy and people rarely believe me because it doesn't come off that way sometimes or oftentimes, but I am. And one thing that I wanted to do was make sure that my stream was very interactive
mhm,
so that it's not just completely weighted on me to keep things going. Because like even though like I said, even though I'm a yapper, I don't think I'm as good a yapper as some people that I know. Like I know some people that can just talk and talk and talk and go and think of things to talk about and think of things to ask people, and that's not me. I kind of go off of what's happening, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if nothing's happening, I don't have anything to go off of.
Uh-uh.
So I just wanted to make my stream very interactive. So that includes like making sure I have commands, making sure I have sound alerts, making sure I have things that I've found that can make that people can do, so that it's not just me having to provide everything, because
Right.
that terrifies me, because I don't know if I'm that capability is not within me completely. Like I can do a little bit, but to do it often is just ooh. So
Yeah.
um the people that ended up, you know, gravitating towards me, you know, like-minded people, or birds of a feather kind of thing, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So very chaotic but also respectful.
Yeah.
So I like to, you know, like I'm the youngest sibling. But I
Okay.
have like what I say is the best of both worlds, because I'm the
Hmm.
youngest, so far the youngest that all of my siblings are old enough to be my parents. So it's like yeah, so I was like I kind of had like only child life but also still had siblings. So I can be that little sibling where it's like I'm poking you, poking you, poking you, poking you, poking you, just like just to message you, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So like that's whatever other people bring to me too. So like the sound alerts, right? Like you'll have one go off, then another and another and another and another, and then just everyone just being chaotic because they like to see me stressed because it's
Yeah,
funny.
clearly.
So to answer that question, that's how that came about.
I see. Listen, like I can't describe how anytime that I go into your stream and it just always seems like a sound alert is going off and something random just happens and it's just like, oh my God, here we go
Yes.
again.
Yeah, yeah. You know, not for nothing. I provided them with the capability to do so. So
Well, yeah, yeah, I could definitely see youngest sibling syndrome in them. But, granted, our lives kind of mirror each other because I'm also the youngest sibling. Though my brother is not old enough to be my parent because we're only like 10 years apart.
okay.
But he's old enough to be a older brother.
Right.
My sister, on the other hand, was 18 when I was born.
Okay.
So yeah, she
Yeah.
could have possibly have been my parent, you know, if
Right.
she went that route, but still, either 18 or hold on, let me see, 1970. Yeah, yeah, she was 18.
Mhm.
So it was, you know, it's different because my sister was not in the house with us. Obviously, she's grown at that point.
Mhm.
But yeah, I definitely get that because you could just like, okay, you know, I can be the annoying little brother or sister and yada. And so now, I see how you were able to make that space for your mods and your audience because goodness gracious, it's been such a wild ride. Uh, Speaking of wild rides, I did want to ask because I really didn't get a chance to ask when this happened, but there was an instance where you were streaming and you were in a hot tub, and I didn't get a chance to ask like. How did that even come about? Like, were you on vacation and just decided, you know what, let's just stream in the hot tub and just whatever happens, happens.
Yes.
Well, okay.
Yeah, yes. So like when I like I said, I started streaming for crafting. Well,
Mhm.
which is crazy because I haven't done a craft stream in forever. Like most of my streams end up being yap sessions.
Yeah.
And so when I say like I'm a variety streamer, I mean I've done a little bit of everything. Now, variety in terms of, you know, crafting, talking, gaming, IRL. And so I say gaming lightly. I've never considered myself a gamer. I just play
Mhm.
games sometimes. I always say that I'm not a gamer. I just play games sometimes. And my community will make that very known. Cleo hasn't played a game or wherever. When's the last time you finished a game, Cleo? All right, not too much on me. Okay. I never said I was a gamer. I didn't even start stream. I didn't start streaming to game. Okay. I just
Right.
play games sometimes, you know? So I do have a huge backlog, but there are a number of games I've started and have not finished, but it happens. Okay.
I need you to finish those
Anyway,
games.
so yeah, I would IRL stream sometimes. Like my cousin TK, I got her into streaming. And so she's on Twitch, but she's also like she enjoys it on TikTok. She's more of a
Mhm.
TikToker. So whenever we're together, we'll go live, or if I'm doing something and I'm bored, or if I'm doing something and I think it's interesting, I'll go live IRL. So the hot tub, we were on vacation and we were up in the mountains and TK was with me that time. I would have done it regardless, but because I was doing that before she started streaming too.
Mhm.
But we were there, we were in a hot tub. We bought our stuff. We had a tripod and everything. So we set the tripod up, set the phone up and went live.
Okay, well.
Yeah, so our friend that was with us, he's now like in the Twitch world too, but like not as a streamer, but I think we're gonna get him to start streaming soon. I feel
Okay.
like he has a personality for it. But yeah, no, like one time I was in the car, I went live to go pick out my Christmas tree, and so
Mm.
what I don't know when I first started IRL streaming, but occasionally I will do that. So that's when you
Okay.
get those moments.
Sounds fun.
Mhm.
No, that's
Yes.
that's really dope that, you just pick interesting moments and then just start to stream. Like,
Mhm.
I just thought that was a very interesting moment. This is like, "Is she streaming in a hot tub?" Like, "Okay, I guess we here now." So, alright, just and so many things were happening that day, and I wish I could have stayed longer, but of course I had to go to sleep, but
It
still.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like it was a lot of fun.
We had
Now, um, in terms of your stream itself, w before I get to that question, I did wanna ask, what is probably one of the most chaotic moments that happened on your stream, if you can pick out one moment?
fun. Outside of like the hot tub stream, honestly, it's anytime that the chat decides. Oh, whenever I get rated, honestly,
Mhm.
they act up. They auto tune me. They put me in jail. They play all the sound alerts, especially the ones that sound ridiculous. They just try to embarrass me.
I
And
see.
so I feel like most of the chaotic moments, I can't say that I've had one stream that was more chaotic than any other. It's just that each stream might have a moment in itself, not one
Mhm.
big stream, but just the moment in said stream. And so a lot of those can be seen in like my channel trailer. I took a lot of clips from my friend said I'm such a Virgo because I went through and I took all my clips and I color coded them.
Right.
I was like, these are funny ones. These are me playing games. These are me being shut up. These are me people playing sound alerts. And like there are a lot of clips of people shutting me up. I'm not gonna lie. Like I don't know if you've seen it, but like there is a redeem where people can like the jail bars show up and then it goes, shut the fuck up. Shut
I don't think I've seen that one. Okay.
They like to use that one a lot. Anytime I get rated, someone is going to make my voice auto tune. And I never notice it's auto tuned, which is the crazy thing because I can't
Mm.
hear it until, until someone says something in chat. And I'm like, oh my gosh. What? So I can't say I've had one particular stream that was more chaotic than any other, but there are definitely pockets of each or certain streams where that has happened. I did have to they did have to I did have to start putting cooldowns or like not cooldowns but like so that the sounds don't play on top of each other. I do have
Uh-huh.
a clip where they did that. Like they were just throwing all the sounds on top of each. I was like, please stop. What are you doing? So I finally figured out how to make them go in order.
Mhm.
But they'll still do that. And then I have people who have like my VIPs and mods have sound alerts that are for them. And I have one person whose sound alert is the Pornhub sound.
Oh, hearing that.
And then my mod, her sound alert is Uncle Luke scarred. So it's like Captain coming, Captain coming. Right. They love that's everyone's favorite one to do. So that one will get played a lot. And then I have the redeem where it's like, oh no, our table, it's broken. They'll come in and break the table. Yeah. So that's a thing. Yeah.
Wow. First and foremost, the person who has the Uncle Luke scarred sound alert, yeah, props to y'all because I have plenty of good memories with that song.
She's a real one. Shout out to Cam.
Some wholesome and some not so wholesome, but
yeah, did not do that.
Indeed. Let's just say that when we were still teens, and for background, most of the audience knows this, but again, I marched in the band when I was in high school and college, and during my high school summers, I would go to South Carolina State's high school band camp because I wanted to know how to march traditional / show style because my goal was to end up marching for an HBCU band, which ended up being Hampton. And anytime that I went to this camp, we had a party in the band room. And so the party, my first year was kind of like, okay, I'm a little shy, a little timid and whatnot. But then the second year I went, I'm 16 at this point. I'm having a ball. And then all I can remember was Uncle Luke Scarred playing and a girl yoking me up. Like, I didn't even go to the girl. She yoked me up. And I'm sitting there like, I'm like, oh, wait a fucking minute. Okay, all right, we here now. All right.
I love that for you. Yeah. I know. Listen, I know about you band people. All right. My brother was in the band. I know the stories. Okay.
Yeah, some I cannot share on this pod, but
I'm sure. I'm sure. When I learned, I was like, oh, y'all was getting done like that.
Oh, yeah. No, listen, my high school band, of course, I marched for, a core style, and my high school was majority white, even though there was a lot of black people that went to my school. It was still majority white high school. So naturally, like, I didn't have those instances, at least not in high school band, but college is a different story again because I marched in HBCU band. So things got a little crazy.
Y'all are literally your own like fraternity. So yeah.
Again, certain things I can't talk about, but you can kind of say that like that. Having a band family is by far one of the best things that's ever happened to me, and I'm glad that I chose my HBCU and I love my college. My college will annoy me sometimes, but I will do not regret my decision at any point in time. Like that was some of the best years of my life.
I love that.
So with that, I did want to ask, like, what's your ultimate goal when it comes to streaming?
So I would love to be able to actually have like a schedule. I used to have a schedule, kind of like I streamed on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it's so funny. I have one person, Strawberry. She was like, "Can you go back to having a schedule again?" Because I miss she was like, I would routinely come in here and work on my stuff and just have you up and watch you while I was working. And now I have to catch you when I can, and it's stressful. And I'm like, listen, I'm working on it. But I would love to be able to have a schedule, especially because I have such variety. So I'd like to be able to have different parts of my community know when to come in. Like, for example, like my crafting community, like to know, hey, Cleo's crafting on Tuesdays, so come in on Tuesdays. And the community to know, hey, we have community night every Thursday or every Friday. Or, Cleo's going to play a game on Wednesday or cozy games, just so that every pocket of the community has a particular time they know they can come and show up. And I'd like to be able to use my platform to be able to showcase more of my business
Mm-hmm.
to help that grow, um and kind of like use them both to help me grow to be able to be financially stable long term.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the goal in the beginning, the goal is to work for myself. Like I don't want to have to answer to anyone. I don't want to have to lose my job because of the economy. I
Yeah.
don't want to like have to deal with that. And the hardest part about working for yourself though is being responsible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's tough because like when you're late for work, you're penalized immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're late for yourself, you're penalized long term. So it's like you're like, oh, it's okay, it's easier to forgive yourself because
Yeah.
it's yourself. But you still might beat yourself up about it, but there's still no direct penalty. So I did hope to have streaming become part of my like business goals,
Okay.
which is in game me being able to work for myself and live off of that. And that does include streaming, like being able to have community, show what I do, have fun. Um yeah, that's my answer for that.
Well, it seems like it's working in your favor so far. Because listen, some of the things and some of the programs that you host on your stream, I've been noticing. Obviously there's a few fundraisers that you have, but also you went out to Cali, and I'm like, wait a minute, you're literally in. Well, I don't know if you were directly at the Grammys, but you were there in the atmosphere. Can you tell me a little more
Yeah.
about that?
So I'm working with this brand called Massive,
Mm-hmm.
Massov, and that actually happened because of streaming. One of my friends introduced me to this guy who runs Massive, Julius, and he was at this event called MetFest that was
Mm-hmm.
happening in DC, which is basically like um, uh, it was a event to encourage um, Black youth to be interested in STEM and esports.
Okay.
And Julius wanted to stream it. He wanted to live stream it on Twitch, but he knew nothing about Twitch. He knew nothing about streaming. And my friend Meek introduced me to him because Meek knew I streamed, and
Mm-hmm.
he knew that, I knew the ins and outs kind of Twitch for the most part. I'm still learning. I'm always learning. But he introduced me to him, and that's when we started working together. Massive focuses on music, entertainment, esports, and STEM. And
Mm-hmm.
so we were trying to figure out, like I know how I could help him, but he wanted to know how he could help me in terms of like the streaming side, because what I do has nothing to do with any of that.
Right.
So, but I do relate to that environment because, like STEM, I was a STEM, well, I'm a STEM girly. Like I went to school
Yeah.
for biology. So like me myself, I can relate to this, but what I do for streaming really doesn't relate. So we were trying to figure out how, we could help each other in that aspect. I knew how I could help him in terms of like giving what I know about Twitch and whatever. And so he's helped me in ways of like opportunity, meeting with people, having spaces. I would like to start podcasting as well. So we have an office space for that. My friend actually has been on my back about that for the last 2 years. She's like, when are we gonna start? Blah blah blah. And I'm like, girl, please, I'm already doing so much. Like, let me have some time first. Like, this is like, just give me a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, because she's great for that, but she's like, she doesn't edit or anything. She's not technologically advanced at all. So I'm like, girl, who's gonna
Mm,
be doing all the work? Like, not
yeah.
you. So I was like, let's give me some time. So I would like to get around to that, but like he has a space for me to be able to do that. Um, but that's getting off topic. So Massive. I decided that I would be a part of this. I saw the vision. I liked what he wants to do. So I was like, okay, well, sure, I'll be a part of this, and we'll quid pro quo. I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
Mm-hmm.
And what ended up coming up was the Grammys. So I had a friend that's into music, and we were talking about the Julius is a Grammy. What are they called? What? Oh
It's
my
part of the
gosh,
recording
a
academy.
member. Yes, he's part of the. Thank you. I don't why brain fart.
Yeah.
Part of the he's part of the Recording Academy, and this trip happened so last minute, like so last minute. Like it even got very chaotic while we were there because of the last minuteness of it. But he was like, yeah, I'm part of the Recording Academy. I wanted to go this year, but I can't because X, Y, and Z. But basically it ended up being him saying we could go and we can go and get some footage and content for Massive. And he would try to get us to like certain events and things like that. So we weren't, the plan wasn't really to get into the Grammys because we did not have tickets.
Right.
We were trying to work towards getting them though, but we did know that there was a possibility that we would not get into the show, and that was okay. The purpose was to go out there, go to the events, make some connections, get some content.
Right.
So that's what ended up happening. I was nervous though because I was just going out there to like talk to people, and mind you, I told you like I'm very shy. I don't like having to like go up and talk to strangers and stuff, but I did. And I went live on Massive's page. So I went live on my page and I was telling everybody to go over to Massive's page so they can watch me do it there. And then after that, you know, I think we had done a couple streams before. We've done a couple interviews. We've done interviews with people in the music industry. It was so cool. It happened off stream, but we're gonna have him back. But we were interviewing someone that was, oh my gosh, names. This is remember how I said like I have blanks when I'm interviewing? Like I will forget the simplest things. So I feel so bad right now because I can't remember names. But he was with the person who gave Beyonce Crazy in Love. Was it Crazy in Love? Was it Crazy in Love? No, because that one has Jay-Z on it. Which one was it? It was a Beyonce song. And so we heard the uncut version before it hit her ears. So I was like, this is so cool. So we were talking in just like about that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you're, you know, music enthusiasts, check out Massive because we have a lot of things coming for that. Shameless plug. But we when I was out there, I did the stream at the Grammys. I talked to some people. There was this one guy, Pop Stunna, who just came up into the stream. And so we started talking. Later on, my friend sent me an Instagram and it was like, guy at Grammy slaps Heidi Klum's butt. I'm like, wait. It was
him. Wow.
Right. It was so funny, but it was great. I made a lot of connections. That went well. I didn't get to go into the show. I probably could have made my way in if I wasn't so shy. But you know, that's neither here nor there. Next time. Yeah. But, then we did a stream after. We started talking to someone who was an artist and also a recording member, and someone who was in the music industry but now is a financial advisor. So, you know, we were talking with them and they were just giving out free game. You know what I'm saying? Like telling people this is what you should do, shouldn't do, can do, how to do this, why we did that, blah blah blah. So those were the last two streams we needed to get affiliated, and we did. So yay. And that is how I ended up in LA. So before that, I had no way of getting there because I told you I don't have a job. Right. And that flight, because this was so last minute, like we were talking about this 2 weeks before the Grammys. So the flight was like $400 or $500. And I was like, I need to raise some money. So I was like, maybe we could do a thon, but I was scared. I was like, I don't know. This is so last minute. Like no one, this wasn't planned. I didn't tell anyone about it. I was like, I still owe people. I have a laundry list of stuff that I have to do in one of my streams that I owe from the last on I did. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I feel bad. Like, no. So I don't think anyone's gonna, but I did it. I was like, hey, if you could get me out there, that would be great. And the community showed up and showed out, and I cried because what? So that's how I was able to go to Grammys week. It was, yeah.
First off, shout out to you even just living my dream because it has been a goal of mine to get out to the Grammys. Granted, I know that you didn't get inside the show, but you were still in the atmosphere of the Grammys and you were still able to make connections. So that is still important. Maybe next time you will get the opportunity to actually go in the show and be there live and make me have FOMO again. So
no, maybe look, who's to say, we're always down for partnerships, and who's to say we don't go together? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know what? I'm down for that. I am down for that. I'm especially because I'm a big music enthusiast. So yeah, that is kind of right up my alley. For the I guess for the podcasting thing, if you feel as though it's in your heart, then yeah, but absolutely do it. As you said, like from a technological standpoint, now that it can get really stressful, and as I told you before, it can be tedious. But I think for us, you don't have to like start with all the fancy new equipment right away and whatnot. I listen. I've shared this story multiple times, but I'll share it with you. When I started this podcast back in 2020, all I had was a mic, and that was really about it. My mic, my laptop.
A mic and a dream.
Yep, that's really all it was a mic and a dream. Like, and I was literally passing the mic back and forth between myself and Law. Shout out to him. That is my co-host, and he's been with me ever since. My dog was just sitting there like we were going back and forth with the mic until I could get another one. And I also had to do like, this is when, before it became creators for Spotify, and it was still called Anchor. And when I literally I was trying to use Audacity to record the episodes, but the files were just too big. And it was like, okay, how can I condense this? So then I had to literally upload episodes like part by part by recording straight to the Anchor system. So I'm sitting here like, this is it's tedious, but I wasn't technologically sound at then. Now I have different equipment to where I don't even have to worry about that, and then I can just upload this without having to go and split sounds or anything like that. I can literally just directly upload it to Spotify and be done with it. But still, it's a journey. It is a journey. So if you decide to go that route, of course, you know that you will have my support. But talk to me afterwards. Of course, I'll give you some more game regarding that.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So now that you are affiliated officially here on Twitch, I just want to ask. We got the goals stated for having a set schedule. What do you hope to gain next, I should say, from streaming? Like, what are some things that we can expect from you? Are we expecting more thons, more partnerships, what opportunities do you have in the future, if you have any that you can speak of?
So it's so hard. Like, you can have so many ideas and so many visions, but it's doing it that matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to do things like, I want to be, it's crazy because I'm saying I have all these ideas that I want to do, right? But then the thing is coming to like things like hosting it, right? Like, I would have to be that person. I'm like, oh God, I don't know. So like, I thought like, I love seeing game shows and stuff happen on Twitch, right? Like, those are so fun to me. I like I said, so one thing I want to do for myself, I want to have schedule. I want to have more giveaways. I want to have more community nights. I want to have like game show-esque kind of things, podcast days, you know what I'm saying? And it's tough because there's only so many days in a week, so many days in a month. So and then I have, you have real life on top of that. So I will be working a lot with Massive as well. So that's gonna be tough too, trying to figure out what days to do with them, what days to do with me, what days we can do together. But streaming wise, two big things I kind of want to get into would be the podcasting and the live podcasting and like game show-esque type situations. More interviews will be happening on the Massive side. I don't really interview much on my stream, but that will be happening on the Massive side because we like to educate our people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is their thing. They like to Massive wants to help especially independent artists, guide them in which ways to go and not make mistakes in terms of like getting caught up in certain contracts, or knowing what to do, which steps to take, and how to go about doing it, and how to maintain, your finances through all this as well. So it's just implementing it. And the hardest thing for me right now, it's so easy. It's so easy for me to go live, but the content side is where I just like, because then, I can go live and we can talk, we can do whatever, and it's great. But then after that, that's when the work has to happen. Like, that's where you have to get your clips, where you have to like make stuff and post it. And that's how you advertise yourself. That's how you grow. I've been blessed in terms of the natural growth that I've gotten outside of doing all of that. I've done a little bit, but not how I've wanted to. I do feel like I am holding myself back a little by not doing so. And that's on my end as a content creator, but also as a business owner, because if you go look at my Cat by Cleo page, I haven't posted in a long time.
Nope.
So I'm working on that. And I'm just trying to find a balance in it all. And right now, just talking about it and thinking about all that just overwhelms me. So I luckily do have people that are willing to help me, but I have to be willing to help myself first, because how can I help you help me if I'm not, how can you help me if I'm not helping you to help me? You know what I'm saying?
Fair. I get what you're saying.
So I gotta be available and be able to do things and do things.
Yeah. Okay.
So I know that was a very convoluted answer, but there's so much. There's just so much.
Hey, listen, our paths to successes are not linear as well.
That's true.
Yeah, if for the convoluted answer, that's still enough for me. And I'm gonna be here to support no matter what. Just as you said, when it comes to content, anybody can go live, anybody could press record for a podcast, but you got to be sure that you know what you're talking about. And sometimes it can just be yap sessions for real. Like, we literally have what I call pods about nothing, where we just like, hey, let's just yap and just talk.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of doing it. Let's just joke around. I think the last time we did a pod about nothing, I asked people to give us some questions, and then that's when we ended up getting like the fuck, marry, kill answer, or a fuck, marry, kill question that was my first quote unquote viral video on TikTok. So yeah, I don't know if you saw, but okay. So pretty much the fuck, marry, kill, it was based on One Piece. Do you watch?
No, but I have seen the live action.
Okay, that's fair. Like, live action's fine, but it's okay. There were a couple characters that they gave us. And matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, it was D who gave us this. So yeah, so I gotta talk to Deidre about that. But still, he was like, fuck, marry, kill. She said Gecko Moria, Blackbeard, or Big Mom. And mind you, two of those pirates are guys, and it was literally myself, Steve, and Law. And we just sitting here like, there's no good answer for this. It's kind of like, okay, maybe we can, we're all cisgendered here. We're both heterosexual. So like the only viable answer here is to fuck Big Mom. But that leaves we gotta marry one of the two dudes.
Hey, look, there's a such thing as sexless marriages.
There is. That's why we kind of like, you know what, we can get away with a sexless marriage. I'm probably like, hey, look, I'm probably marrying Blackbeard, because yeah, dude is at least I will have a dangerous crew behind me. Like, hey, look, if I need protection, if I say, hey, I want that devil fruit, I know they're gonna go after it. So
that's real.
Maybe that. So yeah, there are moments of true chaos on this podcast that have happened. Even if I tried to keep it, as clean as possible, there's no way to avoid it. It's gonna happen.
It seeps in. It finds its way.
It definitely finds its way.
Yeah.
My most viral video was us talking about beef songs, and a lot of people, some people knew, but a lot of people didn't. A lot of people didn't know that that "Jump" by Criss Cross was a diss track.
I didn't either. I learned something new
Yes,
today.
yes. It was a diss track to Another Bad Creation,
Oh,
uh, aka ABC.
okay.
You have to go and watch that video. It is on TikTok. But basically, backstory behind it is I think Jermaine Dupri had issues with um either Michael Bivins, or he had issues with someone on Michael Bivins' team.
Mm.
In terms of ABC, and Jermaine was like, all right, well, I'm gonna find my other group, and so he found Crisscross in that, that infamous mall, and then from there it says that he wrote it, but it was really Treach from Naughty by Nature that wrote it, and Treach, of course, still didn't get royalties from that, so that's why he had problems with JD. But
Mhm.
still, they quote unquote wrote it. Whoever was the brainchild behind it, and they sent some shots at Another Bad Creation. So, and that was not the only child hip hop wars that happened. Apparently, it was a big thing. Um,
Okay.
but during that time, and people were like, "Well, how did you not know it?" I'm like, guys, when Jump debuted on the radio, I was 9 months old.
Right.
So I'm
Like, what
like,
do you
that was
mean?
February of 1992. I was born May of 1991. I would not have remembered the moment I was watching Barney and Friends.
I was just a thought. That wasn't even that.
Wow. So yeah, I'm like, now the people who were born in that, if you were like 9 or 10 years old, oh, you had to know, especially if you were steeped in hip hop. But me,
Mhm.
there was no way I would have known until I looked it up. So
Right. The more
it'd
you
be like that.
know.
But that went extremely viral, because now that's got like 17K views, almost
Okay.
18K on
Oh,
TikTok.
snap.
Just us talking about it.
All
So
right.
yeah,
I love
but
that.
it's always the chaotic moments that find us way on
Always.
the podcast that just
Always.
makes things fun. And I think that the same goes with your stream. I think any chaotic moment, it seems like it's all the time, but I'm there for it.
I try to be cozy, but they just don't allow it. Sometimes we'll have our moments though, but that's why I used to well, we were kind of trying to come up with a name, right? I was
Hmm.
like, it's the Cozy Chaotic Kingdom, but it just sounds so long. And then I wanted it to be different. So I didn't want to use like the regular spellings because it's not different. So,
Right.
but then if I did Cozy Chaotic Kingdom with all K's,
Yeah, we know. We know.
so that wasn't gonna work out. One of my moms was like, try to blend the two,
Hmm.
and say Kozipic or Kozotic. Not say Kozipic, Kozotic. And I was like, no, that sounds a little bit too like I was like, it sounds like a medication. Like
Yes.
Kozotic sounds. I like Kozotic, it works, but I don't know. So then I just had to cut the cozy, and it worked because we're barely cozy anyway.
Yeah.
The reason why I said cozy though was because I started off playing cozy games, and I
Hmm.
do like to play cozy games sometimes. But honestly, when is the last time I played a cozy game? So we just had to drop the cozy, and it's just the chaotic kingdom now, and it works, it flows. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, listen, I get that. Look, when I was coming up with a name for this podcast, I ran into that same problem, because it's like, okay, first off, my real name starts with a K. I'm a
Mhm.
Kappa, so I'm like, of course, I'm gonna throw K's in there.
Of course.
But I had to be careful, because I was like, okay, Society of Chaos, nah, that's I don't know, it doesn't fit. Okay, Chaotic Culture, okay, here we go. But I had it with C's. I'm like, I don't like C's in there, so let's throw it with K's. And then I'm like, this is dangerously close to, yeah. So I'm gonna just keep
Mhm.
it at 2, and put podcast right there. I don't want to put another thing in there. So when
Perfect.
at any time that my brother Tyrone, he was the one who recorded like the intro tracks for this podcast in the past. Anytime he say KKP, I always freeze, because I think he's gonna say the other
That's
thing. And I'm
funny.
just like,
Yeah.
every time, bro, like every single time. So we gotta,
That's funny.
I'm okay with this name because it works, but it's just like KKP. If this was one other letter, I would
Yeah.
literally just be like,
Yeah.
not
And
a good
see, I
idea.
wanted to go with C's, but you can't spell kingdom with a C.
You can't.
So and I worked with what I had.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
Yeah.
I think that is really all of the questions that I had for today, Cleo. But I did at least want to
Fun.
ask you before we get up out of here, what do you enjoy most about streaming, and how has it, continuously lifted your spirits?
Um, my favorite part is talking to everyone. Um, Everyone always gets on me about like being behind on chat, but I try to see everyone's chat. I try.
It's
And
kind of hard to keep up considering so many people talk at once. So,
yeah. So I just like being able to have my favorite part about streaming is the community and the people, the things that some people have said to me, not realizing like I have an impact, and
mhm,
I didn't realize that. And it's still, I don't know if it's imposter syndrome or what, but like in my head I'm just like, I'm just a girl, like what have I done? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just here yapping. And but some people have told me that like they really appreciate me in this, in my space, and like my streams and what I do. And I'm like, dang, like I don't feel like I'm being impactful at all, but I apparently to some people I am. And so the support that I have, like, and I don't mean just like financially, but I also financially, but just like moral support. You know what I'm saying? Like just
mhm,
knowing, like I said, one thing I've never lacked in was support. So when it's like if I ever needed someone to talk to, I never felt like I didn't have anyone I couldn't reach out to. Um or like if I need help with something, like I know that someone's going to help me find a way to make something shake. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? Like whether that's just like to answer a question or an idea or anything. And I just like, I love having that, and not just for myself, but everyone in the community. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I'm trying to be more active in my Discord,
mhm,
because I feel like that's the most personal space and that I can be like with everyone at once. Because like everyone's not on Instagram, everyone's not on Twitch. I mean, Twitter.
right,
So like I will try to be, I'm trying to be more active in there, and like I I like to provide resources. So I have resources in there like for people who do different things like voice acting, music, whatever.
mhm.
Um just to like hear, like I want to see us all win, you know what I'm saying? So just that community is my favorite part about streaming, and that also answers part 2 of your question, and like that lifts my spirits as well. Like knowing that we're here, like all here to help each other. Like a number of my friends like that started streaming, I wouldn't know something about sound or something, so then my mom will go help her. Or if somebody was like in there and said, hey, does anyone have an idea about this, or I need help with this, someone, if not me, then someone's going to try to help.
Mhm.
um but that, yeah, community is my favorite part of it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I think that's truly important no matter what you do, as long as you have a great community behind you, then I think you'll be all right. I think we'll all be
Yeah,
all right as long as we have that support amongst each other.
yeah,
So
I
it's good to
agree.
hear that the community has really truly given you something, tangible to work with. And it just, you can tell just even in the energy in your streams that community has been very important. So I would like to say, for Cleopatra's community, thank you for being able to give her the space, and just for all the chaos that comes with that. So yeah, really, we really appreciate that for those who are listening. And so that kind of concludes the pod for today. Now, normally I would go into rapid fire questions, but for the sake of brevity and for the sake of time, also because I'm hungry, we'll get into a little of that maybe on a different episode. But with that in mind, I did want to thank Cleopatra for coming through and showing love and just having the Yap session that we did, learning more about her and what she does and just about our platform in general. Once again, thank you for joining us here on the podcast. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. This was great. This is a good
Not
way
a
for me to open
problem.
up. I don't do it much. So, yeah.
And get you a little bit out of your comfort zone, you know what I'm saying? So
I
with that,
appreciate you.
no problem. Are there any Black business highlights or Black content creators or Black artists that you want to specifically highlight before we
That
get
is too hard. You cannot ask me to do that.
Oh no. I
There's
put her
too
on the spot.
many. Oh my gosh. I will feel like crap if I left anyone out. Oh my God.
Dang, she said she got a
No.
lot. She got a laundry list.
I can't even, I don't even, I'm going to, I've been seeing a lot of people create lists of creators, businesses, Black owned, Black creators, Black business, all those things.
I have to
I
do that.
am want to do the same.
Yeah.
I will do that and then I'll get that to you and that will be my answer
That is fine.
because there are so many. I just can't even, wouldn't know where to start. We'd be sitting here for another 30 minutes. I can't.
Hey, that's fair. That is fair. I'm not gonna pester you about it, but I do know at least that you have a list of it. And listen, that's why I said I had to have a list because there are some times where I'm just like, oh my gosh, there's so many that I want to support. But I've got at least down to a list, and we call this list the rundown at the end of every episode.
Yeah, sure,
So yeah, with that, we're gonna go ahead and do the rundown, and then we're gonna get up out of here. For those who don't know what the rundown is, again, this is the list of the Black content creators, podcasters, artists, business owners, et cetera, that we have supported or have supported this podcast in some form or fashion. So once again, I do want to start out by shouting out Inside the Mind of a Blurred. That is the other podcast that I'm a part of. I finally got a chance to record with them again after 6 months, and it's hard to believe it's been 6 months since I recorded an episode with them, man. My job really changed my hours and messed me up, but I'm back, at least, for a rotating period, so we'll see how that goes. Big shout out to Mike Check, Waifu. Shout out to Polo and Tel for their seasonal anime podcast. Again, if you are looking for a podcast that talks about your favorite and maybe not so, good seasonal anime, they are the ones who can give you the good recommendations. And of course, we'll tell you which ones are good and which ones are ass. So there's that. Big shout out, of course, to the Anime After Dark community, aka, Worst Gen and Blanime. A big shout out to them whenever they decide to get together. If they decide to get together again, they continuously do work within the community. Big shout out to Brother X and the Culture Scientists. I know once again they are waiting on their little one to be born, so I appreciate the both of y'all. I will get with y'all, of course, once y'all all get settled into parenthood. Big shout out to Dad Needs to Talk with Rob, the father of Vash, Geek Set Podcast, Anime Junkies 3 Weaves in a podcast. Big shout out to those anime girls and Black Geek Energy. Of course, for our Black authors, Kay Renee, I gotta have her back on here sooner or later, and of course, Elena Graham, aka Elena, who is also one of our music artists that we support. For our Black content creators, of course, we got the whole Off Black Mag team. Shout out to Aaron and shout out to Ty. That was my previous episode before this one. Big shout out to Cerberus Entertainment. And for our streamers, we got Tad Poodle, the Geecha Gamer, Shelby with Simply Janine, Simply Baked, and Rose Less Traveled. Big shout out to Strange Keith without us the icons. Again, big shout out to Toasty Marshmallow. The Corner 5, which is Courtney, Phi, Chris, Sham, and Simone. Big shout out to Scuba Steve and Alpha with Blur Mind Productions. Big shout out to content creator Carabits. And of course, now we've added another streamer to that list, and that is Cleopatra. And on my screen, it's probably going to be this way. So either way, we have Cleopatra to the list. And for our Black artists, we got NASA, Scoozy, Jack, Union, Phil.me, Ellis Quinn, RJ Stackhouse, Quarter, Tyrone Leak Jr., Aria Lachelle, who is also part of the Recording Academy, Zach Hines and Fortresses, Elena, Zainab, and Imogen. For our Black business highlights, Already Paid by Dre, Freshness Righteous Knives by Timo, KS's Brand by Christina, Cream Cosmetics by Naima, Studio Maha with Pat and Yin, Concept Moon, She Designs 2 with Aaron, Black Magic Lit Wands with Low and T, H World Creative by Zenobia, Real Estate Store by Meredith, So by Bell by Mariah, Good Vibes Only with Nasa, and Scrappy Sentiment from my co-host, Sappy. Once again, thank you, Cleopatra, for joining us. How can the people follow you, ma'am?
I am Cleoxpatra on Twitch and Cleoxpatra with 2 A's on the end everywhere else. I am also massive_TV because that is now part of me. So on everything. So yeah.
Big shout out to you over here doing big things. All right, guys, be sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Khaotic Kulture podcast on your favorite digital streaming platform. Please be sure once again that you subscribe to the Patreon to get this episode early and to get bonus episodes as well. Once again, we appreciate your support. You can follow us on all social media. Of course, you can follow us on Facebook at the Khaotic Culture Podcast page. You can also follow us on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Khaotic Culture Pod. You can follow us on X/Twitter at Khaotic Culture 1. And of course, you can follow us on Blue Sky at chaoticculture.bsky.social. You can follow me, Ked the Pro, that's K3D the Pro, on all social media. Of course, you can follow my co-host on all of their social media as well. Scuba Steve at Scuba Steve 1428 on all social media. Sappy at Scraps14 on all social media. And Law at L.JR_96 on Instagram and Law96_ on X/Twitter. And with that, this has been another edition of the Khaotic Culture Podcast. So until next time, folks, remember, embrace the culture, chaos rules, be blessed, be safe, God is love, and we are out of here. Deuces.
So what's the word?
You are now tuned in to the Khaotic Culture Podcast. And